Everyone has tried beating Skyrim as a pacifist, but what if I take it one step further? I cannot kill anyone, I cannot let my followers kill anyone, and I cannot even land a single hit on anyone. Hey, it's me Veddo, and in today's recipe, we are attempting an impossible Skyrim challenge. Will I be able to beat this challenge, or will this challenge end up beating my meat? Well, you gotta watch the full video to find out. So our protagonist for today will be Mommy Makima. Now those who already know her knows that Mommy Makima is the kindest anime character in the history of mankind. So as Mommy Makima, we gotta establish some rules for this run. I cannot hurt anyone. If I hit anyone even once, the challenge would end. I cannot use shouts. I can only use the shouts which do not do any physical damage. The only exception to the rule would be when the NPC give consent, like the Greybeards and Parthenax when they want to see the power of your tomb. I can use any exploit and glitches in this run because those are not glitches. Always remember, those are the intended game mechanics left into the game by Todd Howard. And if you disagree, then I'm gonna come to your room and touch. I cannot recruit any followers to kill for me. I cannot directly set traps for enemies like bear traps or magical runes, etc. So with these conditions, we are going to start our challenge. Oh my god, so here we are in the wide world of Todd Howard. Now we are going to witness the dumbest Skyrim NPC in existence. Bro would have been saved if he just waited around and let the priestess yap for a while.
My ancestors are smiling at me in appearance. You say the same.
No, brother, your ancestors are not smiling at you. They are probably laughing at your dumbass for dying over nothing. So as usual, I tried to escape Helgen, and since I cannot hit anyone or anything, nor can I use other people to do it for me, I had to evade all the combat encounter throughout the Helgen Keep when I was escaping. But don't you worry, soon we will become death, the destroyer of worlds itself, without even touching anyone. So to pull this challenge off, we need to work on very two specific skill trees. Restoration, because Mommy Makima only knows how to heal, and heavy armor because she only endured the hardship of the world with a smile on her face. She is such a saintess. So after reaching Riverwood, Mommy Makima raised the wood of the local blacksmith and scammed him by her divine body. You know, I was just doing the merchant inventory glitch and sold my armor by mistake and ended up in my underwear on the streets. But it's all good because we need to buy heavy armor anyways to increase our heavy armor stat. I also took everything that guy offered me for free because why not? If you want to do the merchant inventory glitch, just select any item which you don't mind selling from your inventory, then click on your name, hold the click, take the mouse over to the vendor's name and then press E. Now you will see that you can sell him items, but wait, you are in his inventory. What will happen if we do this? Wow, now you can sell him his own items while power leveling your speed skill. Oh, Mommy Makima, you are so majestic. I cannot really blame these merchants though. If Mommy Makima comes to me in her underwear and starts selling me my own items, I would buy them too and give all of my money to Mommy Makima. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a special offer just for you. The first 100 people who are going to like this video and subscribe to the channel will be visited by Mommy Makima in her underwear tonight, and she will definitely rob you blind. But let's be honest, who does not want to be robbed by Mommy Makima? So like and subscribe right now to avail this offer before it runs out. So after a lot of scamming and a lot of bartering, we are in a full set of heavy armor. But why would we need that? Maybe we need it so that we do not die early in the game. Or we can simply finish the game by just running away, which actually isn't possible because we actually need some NPCs to die for the game to progress. So no, it's none of these. So to reveal the secrets of the heavy armor, let's make our way to Whiterun. But we will not go inside Whiterun. What we need is to hire the carriage and then make our way to Winterhold. But Veddo, why are you going to Winterhold? That place is shit and abandoned. Well, because near Winterhold lives your mama. You don't believe me? Well, let me show you. Here she is. Now, why do we want to meet your mama? Well, you see, in the skill tree of heavy armor, there is a very particular skill that exists and we need that. And to get that, we are going to get smacked by a Horker again and again and keep healing ourselves until our restoration and heavy armor reaches 100. So as you can see here, I am getting hit by this Horker, aka your mom, again and again. And my restoration and heavy armor is leveling up constantly. So hold please until I reach max level in both. And after that I will show you the science behind this madness and why Mommy Makima is letting a Horker hit. You know, this sounded way too wrong. I'm sorry if you were watching this with your parents or significant other. So it's been a while and my heavy armor and restoration is at 100 and I have been testing a very specific perk. And as you can see, this Horker is nearly dead. Wait, how is this possible? Was I hitting your mama off screen? Or did someone else came to hit your mama Horker? Like, how is this possible? How is the mama Horker nearly dead? Well, let me show you. So as you can see, this Horker is hitting me constantly, but sometimes once in a while it is taking some damage like this. Yes, attack me Horker, do your worst. Yes. Why are you running? Why are you running, my friend? Why did you suddenly lost a chunk of health? What is happening? So in the heavy armor we got this perk called Reflect Blows and it have a 10% chance to reflect any melee damage back at the enemy when I am wearing all heavy armor. Now what does this mean? It means that I don't even have to lift a finger to defeat my enemies. They are just going to hit Mommy Makima, who is going to keep healing herself again and again, and the enemy will keep taking constant damage. You know, they are just hitting Mommy Makima, and when they expect like a counter attack from Mommy Makima, like she is one of those uncivilized Skyrim players who would try and kill their enemies and try to defeat them by beating them up, Mommy Makima instead just keeps healing herself, and this breaks the enemy's heart. They are forced to hit such a saintess and then they eventually die of heartbreak. Now the wise among you might have spotted two problems already. First, this process is very slow. If I run out of magicka or healing potions, I die. Second, most enemies are just going to run away when their health gets too low instead of hitting me again and again until they die. So this isn't really a playable build. And it actually have a lots of problems. And to them I will say, you guys are absolutely right. But I have a solution. I am going to make my way to Riften. Why? Because I want to start something called the restoration loop. Those who know the restoration loop can already guess what I am about to do. But those who does not know, well, don't worry, I will show you how to break the game by using the very balanced intended game mechanics called the restoration loop. And before you call it a bug, let me tell you, I am playing on the anniversary edition, which was made as a 10-year anniversary celebration upgrade to the original game. So they had 10 years to fix the so-called exploits and all the game breaking glitches. And it's been 5 years since the anniversary edition was released. So did anyone at Bethesda fixed any of these glitches? The so-called glitches, the game breaking glitches, huh? No! These are the intended game mechanics left into the game by the game developers themselves. So I better not hear anyone complaining about these and calling me a cheater, because this is how Skyrim was meant to be played. So to pull this off, we need to collect some ingredients to start the restoration loop. And what we are going to do with that? Well, you see, this perk works in a very strange way. It have a 10% chance of reflect the damage back to the enemy, which means the better armor rating we have, the less damage enemies are going to inflict on us, which also means when the damage is reflected back at them, they are also going to take less damage because of the good heavy armor rating we have. So in theory, the more damage they can do to us is the same amount of damage they can get back when this perk activates. So in simple words, the good armor means less damage to the enemies and bad armor means more damage to the enemies. So my plan is to create a piece of armor so bad that the armor rating goes into negative. How am I going to achieve that, you ask? Well, the simple answer is integer overflow. I am going to use the restoration loop and make a piece of armor so powerful that it goes into the integer overflow and become the worst piece of armor in Skyrim's existence. So first we need to grab a healing potion from the old lady. Why health potion? Well, we need to find a certain skooma addict on the Riften dock who works in the fishery, and then we are going to give her the health potion so that she can cure herself of her addiction, and then she will allow us to grab any items from the docks without it actually being counted as stealing.
Help. I really need your help. I don't want to lose my job at the fishery. What am I going to do?
Oh, you're going to lose your job. You know what? Mommy Makima is going to save you. Here is a health potion. No need to thank me. Well, so now we got access to the Riften fishery. We are going to rob it blind for the 3 ingredients I mentioned earlier. So after robbing the Riften fishery, I am going to rob every fish barrel on the Riften docks because they are going to have a lot of salt piles and the fishes we need for the restoration loop. So we were able to collect a lot of salt piles, but there weren't enough fish for me to actually start the exploit. So what we are going to do is we are simply going to jump into the water and then we are going to catch fishes with our own hands. Now you might not initially find the fishes you are looking for, and in that case you can use the duping stuff method with your follower, but since I cannot get a follower because there is a chance that he might hit someone accidentally and that will instantly end the run, so I'm not going to get a follower and risk the whole run. So I simply swam around, waited for some days and repeated the cycle until I collected all the fishes I needed. I found most of them near the water at the gates and around the docks of Riften. So here we are with our catch, and frankly it wasn't really that bad. I had fun catching all the fishes. That's how Skyrim was supposed to be played. So after that I decided to do some shopping for jewelry as we will need them to pull off the exploit. So I scammed the guy and bought all the jewelry I needed. Now I needed stuff with the enchantment of Fortify Alchemy so that I can start the loop, and so I decided to pull off my favorite Bethesda feature. I went to Dawnstar, and if you would just follow this road to the Ironbreaker mine, and right next to the mine there is a pile of bushes and rocks. Just there you will find the intended free chest kept there by the devs for us players as a thank you. Now this chest is related to the Khajiit caravan and it will always be there even if the Khajiits themselves are not in Dawnstar. So after looting it, I was able to find the armor which had the enchantment of health. It is very important for our 100% reflect damage build. But I still wasn't able to find the alchemy stuff, so I went to another spot near Solitude where you can find the merchant chest. And this is the place where Khajiit merchant usually sit in Solitude. Even if they are not there, you can find the chest right about here at this spot. So to give you an idea, let me show you. The chest is literally beneath his tent. So all you have to do is go to this location. Even if the tent is not there, you can still access the chest. You can go there and try to reach it by crouching on the spot and press E when you see an open chest prompt like this. But sadly I was not able to find what I was looking for in this chest. So now what I plan to do is simply wait for 3 days so the merchant inventory could reset and keep looking until I find the items I'm looking for. But if you don't want to wait like me and want to reset the merchant inventory instantly, all you have to do is drop down a save, hit the merchant and reload. It will instantly reset their inventory every time, but I cannot hit anyone because of the challenge, so I will just have to wait. Well, it's been a couple of hours and I have everything I needed for the exploit. I also grabbed some additional stuff like Grand Soul Gems filled with Grand Souls and some ingredients and potions recipe, as we need to level up our alchemy a little bit before we can start the restoration loop. And yes, I went inside Solitude while I was doing this just to watch Uncle Rogveer die.
They can't hurt Uncle Rogveer. Tell them he didn't do it.
Oh no, poor Uncle Rogveer. Man, now I know why people in the medieval times liked execution so much. It was probably the only exciting thing in their lives. So after robbing these poor cat merchants for days, I finally had enough stuff to start the exploit. Now we only need to upgrade our alchemy skill, because not being able to do the restoration loop is just a skill issue because the devs never patched it. So to power level your skill, all you have to do is just buy all of the ingredients from the merchant right here, eat them and make some potions again and again until you reach level 40 and get these 2 skills, as it makes the restoration loop much easier to pull off. And since I cannot reset her inventory by hitting her, I will just have to wait until her inventory is reset every time so that I can continue leveling up my alchemy. Also make sure to buy these ingredients you're looking at on the screen right now as much as you can, because you will need them for sure. So after getting both the perks, we are going to make our way to the Jarl's Palace, because the Koth Wizard's room have both the alchemy table and enchanting table side by side. So after ignoring the main quest line like your crush ignores you, I made my way to the Koth Wizard's workstation and started the exploit. So what you have to do is simply pull all the increased alchemy gear you got and make a potion of restoration. Then unequip all of your alchemy gear, chuck the potion, and suddenly you will see something interesting. Suddenly all the alchemy gear somehow got a huge buff from the restoration potion. Well, what will happen if I make another potion with these buffed up gear and drink it? Well, of course the effect would stack. Now you can do it as much as you want, but eventually you will hit a limit. After that your game will start crashing. So keep saving your game after numbers start looking like this. Also remember that these effects or buffs on the gear is not permanent. It will go away as soon as the restoration potion effect is gone, and you will need to start the loop again. But we can easily avoid that by making OP alchemic gear, so we can make game breaking potions anytime without having to start the loop again. So let's make a couple of high level restoration potions. For me this is the limit. After this the game crashes, so I make like a dozen of these so that I don't have to start the restoration loop again. And this is actually a good practice, because if you mess up in making the OP gear, you will have to start the loop again, which is quite hectic. So now you might recall that I bought a lot of jewelry and collected a lot of grand soul gems from the Khajiit merchant chest. I also showed you these ingredients apart from the ones needed for the loop. So now when we are at a number where the game isn't crashing again and again, we can safely make a couple of enchanting potions, which increases the power of the enchantment on our gear. So now just go to the enchantment table, disenchant everything you have. It will increase your enchantment skill. Then grab the perks in the enchantment skill tree, as it will make it easier to get OP enchantments. Now drink the restoration potion and drink the enchantment potion. Go into the enchantment table, pick the item and the enchantment for it, like Fortify Alchemy, and then apply a grand soul gem to it. Now you got a very OP gear, but remember the new gear is also buffed by the restoration effect. So make at least 4 of these Fortify Alchemic gear. So now we got the new OP gear. Now we are going to put them and drink the restoration potion, and we will make a potion of Fortify Smithing, and the game crashed. Well, it's been a while, so it seems like all of our overpowered gear with Fortify Potion effect is too much for the game to handle. I simply used my ring and necklace along with the Fortify Restoration. I did not put all the 4 gear and made an OP Potion of Smithing. Now you can also make a permanent item with the enchantment of Fortify Smithing, but since I am a dumbass and forgot about those, I just made a potion for it, because it will also work. Now we are going to the blacksmith so that we can modify this piece of armor I am wearing right now. So Mommy Makima first tried the good girl route and tried to buy the steel ingot needed for the upgrade, but they did not have any. Mommy Makima got sad until she saw that the blacksmith and her husband were hiding their ingots in plain sight, and so Mommy Makima decided that she was going to steal it, as saving the world is more important than a single piece of steel. So she stole it and went to the workbench. She chucked the potion and boom, we got an armor with 2.14 billion negative stat. I don't know, I can't even count this number, man. This is just too broken. So to negate this massive penalty I will get by wearing this armor, I made a very normal ring of health with like 7.7k health increase and thought that it would be enough, until I tested it by spawning some bandits, and as you can see I instantly died in a single hit. Now the problem was the enemies were doing like millions of damage to me per hit, and there is like a 10% chance of it getting reflected back at the enemies, but it also means that there is a 100% chance that I will die instantly too. So for that I used my rings and the overpowered restoration potions and enchanted my armor for like 140 million points of health, and I also made a ring which also increases my health for like 140 million more points, making it reach total of 280 million points of health. Oh man, I seriously love Skyrim, but I was not going to take any chances this time. So I also made a necklace of health regeneration, which regenerates my health for like 70 million points every second. So I am definitely going to be unkillable now. Mommy Makima is immortal. So I tested the armor again, but this time with these buffs, and finally I was not dying in a single hit anymore. But I cannot say the same for my enemies. So now we really don't have to do anything. The enemies are just going to kill themselves eventually. This is exactly what a true pacifist run should look like. But is this still possible to defeat Alduin with these OP stats? Well, we gotta find out by beating the game. So I went to the Jarl to start the quest line, and then he sent me to retrieve something called the Dragonstone from the ruins in the mountain. So this was Mommy Makima's first real battle encounter. And she was so sad because people are going to hit her and then die of a broken heart, because the enemies are going to realize that they just attacked an absolute saintess of a person. So I was just making my way there and this wolf attacked me and died. Now the 3 bandits on this tower tried to attack me and died of a broken heart. But remember, any enemies who can use magic or bows cannot be killed by this perk because it only reflects melee damage back. So I had to get so up close and right into the faces of the bandits who were using long ranged attacks, so that they can pull out their dagger and try to kill me with it and then die. So after reaching Bleak Falls Barrow and clearing it from the outside, I went inside and the 2 bandits just died of a broken heart. Now I'm nearly immortal, so I just ran my way through the dungeon. I reached where we fight the spider and I really wasn't sure if the perk will work on the spider, but thankfully it did. So I quote unquote defeated the spider and freed up this man. But wait, don't you have to break the web by attacking? Oh no! Well, not really, because I made sure that I was not hitting the man. So to prove my innocence, I installed a mod which shows the enemy's health bar above their head, and as you can see, here the bar never even appeared. So I just simply let the man go free and he ran away and got killed by a Draugr, which is like a natural cause. Then I took the claw and the Draugrs just kept stepping onto the traps, so I just simply ran my way through the whole dungeon and reached the boss room. Now this is supposed to be hard. Well, not for Mommy Makima, because after like a couple of hits, he died and I just collected the stone and left. Now after completing the quest, I saw this Delphine trying to be slick. Like, you ain't fooling anyone, bitch. I don't even know how she survived the Thelmore massacre. She probably is the dumbest out of the blades. And I really think that's why Thelmore haven't killed her yet. Because they know she's an idiot who poses no threat. And after ranting about Delphine for 5 more minutes, I heard the news about the dragon attack on the Western Watchtower, so I simply went there. Now get ready for the most epic dragon fight you guys are going to witness in your life. The dragon flew by and I stood there. Everyone shot at the dragon and I stood there. The dragon landed on the ground, I stood there, mogging him. He used his dragon breath, I stood there. He started biting me, but nothing worked, and after the dragon died, I absorbed its soul. And the guards who actually witnessed it were actually shaken, because imagine, you are a normal guard living your life and suddenly you hear some shit about dragons coming back, and then your Jarl sends you to fight one. And to top it all off, there is a sexy red-haired lady who showed no fear of dragons' existence and just stood there without even flinching. She just stood there and mocked the dragon, and the dragon is not even able to do anything to the lady. And when you guys finally kills the dragon, that woman just absorbed the soul of the dragon. I don't know about you, but personally I am just going to retire after this. So after reporting it to the Jarl, I was called by the Greybeards. But I wanted to skip the whole Greybeard and Delphine questline, so I simply collected some platters from the Jarl's palace and some buckets from Whiterun and made my way towards the Thelmore embassy. Now, if you don't know, you can simply bypass most of the questline if you just manage to get into the Thelmore embassy early on. So that is what I was going to do. So to pull this off, just go to the gate and then follow the wall on the left side until you reach this spot. So all you have to do is pick up the bucket and sprint toward the wall by pressing left alt key. Now it won't happen on the first try, and I even lost my first bucket somewhere. That bucket probably fell into the back rooms or something, I don't know. So with the help of my second bucket, I somehow was able to glitch inside the embassy within like 5 minutes of trying. And you know, I was quite happy with myself. So I saved my game and went inside the embassy. Now inside the embassy, these 2 NPCs started attacking me instantly and killed themselves. But the one who had the key to the master lock, which I needed to go into the dungeon, wasn't aggroed on me. I tried following him, I tried a lot of things like throwing stuff at him, but I wasn't able to aggro him. And the thing is, if I hit him even once, the challenge would be over. So I reloaded the game several times until I realized that I can simply pickpocket him, and that will either aggro him or I will simply get the key anyways. Now the thing is, I underestimated him. This man for some reason refused to use any melee weapon and kept attacking with spells. So after a while, I just cornered him and stood right up to his face and left my PC running for like 3 hours. and he died somewhere in between those 3 hours. Maybe because he switched to a melee weapon in between? I don't know, I simply grabbed the keys and went to the dungeon. Now when I first entered, I got scared because I thought the quest would not progress as the prisoner who was supposed to be there wasn't there. Until I remembered that to progress this quest, I just needed to get details on Esbern and just leave the embassy. So as soon as I was done, 3 Thelmore guards came with a guy. And mind you, I never met this guy in my entire life. And for some reason they started calling him my accomplice, who let me enter into the embassy. But I don't know what they were talking about. I literally just used the bucket. So I simply let them kill the guy and then kill themselves by attacking Mommy Makima. Then I got the keys and escaped from the trapdoor. So after that I was told to report the findings to Delphine, who acted like we knew each other for ages. And she literally let me walk through her secret attic door. Like, I'm not even sure how this woman even survived the Thelmore massacre. I literally just came to her with the information of her friend hiding in the Rathway, and she literally sent me to escort him instead of asking questions like, who the f are you? So I made my way to Riften. I then had to convince a guy that no, I'm not interested in joining the Thieves Guild. And after he told me the location of Esbern, then I made my way through the Rathway. There were crackheads who tried to attack Mommy Makima on the way, but they were no match for Mommy Makima's pacifism. So after a while, I encountered Thelmore agents, who for some reason gladly committed suicide by trying to attack me. I even encountered a Hannibal Lecter from Timu who tried to eat Mommy Makima. And you know what, to be honest, if Mommy Makima walked into my room, I would want to eat her too. Like, not in the Hannibal Lecter way, but in some other way. If you know, you know. And after that I went to Esbern, and he is the greatest liar and a manipulator in existence. Just take a look.
What? No, that's not me. I'm not Esbern. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was nearly fooled here. I was about to leave him alone. Bro is literally Ayano Koji. He is using dark manipulation. His act was so convincing that I was about to kill myself out of embarrassment. If I hadn't completed Skyrim before, I would have never guessed that this man is actually Esbern and he is lying. And after convincing him that I was a Dragonborn, and after that we made our way through the Rathway tunnels without a delay, because I knew for a fact that there were Thelmore agents somewhere in the tunnels and I actually don't want to deal with them. So as soon as I got out of the tunnel, I actually just fast traveled to Riverwood, because even if Esbern is not a follower, I still don't want to use him for any combat encounter, as it will kind of ruin the challenge. So after that we met with Delphine, and for some reason she is convinced that I am Dragonborn, even though I never proved my credential to her. I simply broke the game sequence and skipped a lot of annoying quests. So anyways, for some reason Esbern knew about Alduin Wall and the location of Skyhaven Temple, and I was like, how? Until I reached the location, and that hidden temple was actually fully visible from the main road between Whiterun and Markarth. Like, are you telling me nobody saw that big ass ruin over the mountains and wondered, hey, what is that? It is not exactly hidden. Anyone can see that if they're going to Markarth. So anyways, I moved towards the temple, and there were like 2 dragons and the whole camp of Forsworn. I ran through the dungeon and then did this to myself. Yeah, I'm glad I'm kinda immortal. Then I went to the main door of the temple and gave it my blood, so the door opened. Then this owner told me about some shout which was used to defeat Alduin, and he told me to go ask them Greybeards about that shout. And I don't even know who the Greybeards are. I never even went there. And I actually want to remind you that I never met these Greybeards. Yet somehow when I went there, they already were talking like they knew me already. Like we were some old pals. So all hell broke loose. I was doing 3 quests at the same time. I was introducing myself to the Greybeards while also asking about the Dragonlance shout, while they also wanted me to use my Whirlwind shout to cross the gate. It was confusing as hell, but I still did it anyways. I wasn't even sure if the game would actually progress, because I by mistake triggered every dialogue at the same time, making them give me knowledge of every shout at once. And then they also proceeded to tell me about Parthonax, while they were telling me I should prove myself to gain their trust and follow the way of the voice properly. Like, I would say 10 out of 10 quest experience here. And after this 10 out of 10 experience, I used the Clear Sky shout to reach Parthonax. He yapped a lot about a lot of stuff and told me to get the Elder Scrolls. So I made my way to the College of Winterhold, and I never knew that you can actually enter college without showing any magical abilities. Like there was an option about being the Dragonborn, and then she asked me to shout. I did, and she actually accepted that as a valid application, and I was free to enter the college. This game is truly amazing. You will still find new things once in a while even after so many years, man. This is amazing. So they told me about a mad lad living in glaciers. So I went to him. He told me about the cube and circles and how to get the Elder Scrolls. So I did what any sane person would do in this situation, and I decided to bypass the whole Black Reach. So if you want to bypass Black Reach too, then just make your way to this location right here on your map. It is like right beneath the Hall of Vigilante, and you will be able to see the exit of a Dwemer ruin and a campsite. So you will know that you are at the right location. So if you remember, I actually stole some big platters from the Jarl's palace. Well, I'm going to use them here. So again, just hold the platter in front of you and sprint right into the gate here. Now many people on the internet says that using the whirlwind sprint is easier than running into the wall, and I actually tried that. But frankly, it never worked for me, and I got in by simply running into the wall. So I really don't know, do whatever works for you. So I got into the door and I opened it, so that I can enter and exit anytime I want, without having to glitch my way through the door. But you know, I picked up my trusted platter again because maybe I will need it somewhere else, or maybe I won't. But I'm never gonna leave it behind. And so I simply went into the ruins, and wait a minute, where are we? We are now standing directly at the final room where we get the Elder Scrolls. So I inserted the cube and pressed button randomly until I got the scroll. And we can just simply leave this place by using the same exit we used to enter the dungeon. And after I got the scroll, I directly went to Parthenos and used the Elder Scrolls. Then I saw a very insane flashback. So after I was done, Elduin showed up, and let me tell you, what you're about to witness is the greatest battle against Elduin in the world. I used the Dragonrend shout on him again and again, and bro still wasn't done. He found the one weakness Mommy Makima had, Ragdoll. He realized that he cannot kill her by usual means, so he tried to keep her in a constant state of ragdoll by throwing giant rocks at her. But he made a fatal mistake. He flew too close to the sun and burned his wings. He thought he can try and finish Mommy Makima off, so he did a melee attack. But the perk kicked in, and bro instantly lost all of his health and ran away like a bitch. So after defeating Elduin, I talked with Parthenos about where Elduin went, and then he told me to trap one of Elduin's dragon in the Jarl's palace in Whiterun and ask the dragon about where Elduin ran off to. Now I really made a decision before starting the questline. I did something you all will thank me for. I installed a mod which skips the peace negotiations, and then I talked with the Jarl and he agreed. And then I went to the old nerd hiding in the Skyhaven temple, and bro told me about a shout, basically the name of the dragon. So I went to the Jarl's palace, called the name of the dragon, and then I tried to save this guy by instantly using the Dragonrend shout against the dragon. But yeah, this guy is just unlucky, I guess. Then Mommy Makima trapped the dragon and rode him to Sovngarde. After reaching the gates of the Sovngarde, I had only one objective: run, which I did. But there were parts where I had to just let the enemies die of natural causes to solve some puzzles in peace. Yes, hit me cheesy boys. Hit Mommy Makima harder. Do it right now. Oh no, why are you guys dying? Oh no. Man, I love Skyrim. This is truly a game where you can be anything. You know, there were also some parts where I just had no desire to fight, and I just kept running until I solved the puzzle and just left. And soon I was out of the temple, and then I realized that if I am just fast enough, I can go into the portal before the dragon priest can seal it. And since dragon priest only use spells and staffs, I will not be able to kill him with my ability. So I had to make a run for it, and I used every ounce of my ability to reach the portal, and it actually worked on the first try. Now I was in Sovngarde, and it is a very lovely place. Like, no lie, this is beautiful. So I went to the Hall of Valor, and then I was challenged by the Sun guy because he wanted to see if I was worth it. And now you are going to witness the most epic duel in existence. This man had the worst luck in existence because after a couple of hits, he just lost all of his health instantly and gave up. So now I went into the hall and saw all the 3 heroes who defeated Elduin in the past. So they followed me for the last stand against Elduin, And let me tell you, this fight was one of the hardest for me because, as I said, in our last fight with Elduin realized what my weakness was. And let me tell you, when I say he utilized my weakness fully, he did. This guy kept throwing rocks at me with Olympic precision. Bro was spawn camping me because he knew Mommy Makima was too dangerous. So I don't know how, but I was managing to get up in between and use my dragon and shouts on him, but it wasn't really working very well. This Elduin stretched the fight for like literally 15 minutes by throwing burning rocks at me for literally minutes at a time, and he was not letting me get up. But in the end, somehow he started biting me, which counts as a melee attack, and then he just died instantly. And with that, we finally defeated Skyrim as a true pacifist. We had no follower, we never hit anyone throughout this whole run, and we broke Skyrim by becoming death itself. We never killed anyone, people just chose to die around us. And so to those who made it this far into this video, here is a gift for you from Mommy Makima. Bask in the otherworldly glory of Mommy Makima's beauty. She thanks you for watching her whole journey till the end. Like and subscribe right now and let me know in the comments if you wanna see Mommy Makima again in another challenge. And this was the Impossible Skyrim Pacifist Challenge run. So see you in the next video. And yeah, watch this Skyrim Landlord video because it is very cool and epic.